Hello everybody and welcome to the GMS Magazine channel. I am Paco Garcia, your host, and in this video I wanted to show you the differences between the Kickstarter project manager and the Game On Tabletop project manager. Simple as that. I'm going to launch a new crowdfunding campaign to fund the publication of a book very similar to this called Campo the Mitos. More videos to come in a very close future. So subscribe so you can get notifications for that. And after thinking an awful lot about it, I decided to go for Game On Tabletop because it's a platform that's specifically being designed for us, for gamers. It's a platform that's been designed by gamers. And after talking to them and comparing both things, I thought, damn, this is good. This is fantastic. But I didn't just want to make a review about it and give you my opinion. I actually wanted to show you how both platforms work and what Game On Tabletop has to offer. Because quite frankly, I think you're going to like it. Seriously. I really think you're going to like it. So I'm not going to say anything else. I'm just going to jump onto the video and hopefully get your comments down there in the comment section of the video. I'd love to hear what you have to say, and please consider using Game On Tabletop. Thank you. Okay, so this is Kickstarter's, website, and this is the project manager, as you can see. Now, because I am in Spain, Spanish accent, this is going to be in Spanish. Sorry, I will be translated, okay? But you can get the whole feel of it. Come on, be nice. So, the first thing it's going to tell you is to start with the basic fundamentals of what the project is all about, which is all very nice and proper. So the first thing you see is the title of the project and the subtitle. And then it asks for you to define what the category is going to be. In this case, it's juegos, which is games, and you can add a subcategory. So juegos de mesa, for instance, tabletop games, juegos en vivo, LARPs, mobile games, card games, video games, crosswords. There's a category for crosswords. So anyway, tabletop games. And where the game is located. You can, type, for instance, I am in Valencia, in Spain. There we go. There are more than one Valencias, several around the world, but this is the original. So you can add an image to your project that you can set up, and it cannot be more than 200 megabytes. Now, if you're going to upload something that is 199 megabytes, I would strongly urge you to reconsider, because what the hell are you doing? Never mind. Then you can add a video of the project, and it cannot be more than 5 gigabytes, which should give you for plenty of space. That's an awful lot. And the goal, which in my case is going to be 500 euros. Tiny little project, I know. And when do you want it to be published? So you first have to confirm your identity, is asking to do it, and then you have to send this to revision. You have to create a project, then send it to somebody in Kickstarter to take a look at. That can take anything between 24 and 36 hours. It's not a particularly long project. So here what you're doing is to tell them, I would like to start this project, say, on the 10th of July or whenever. And then how long the project is going to last. And you can decide if you want it to be a number of days or if you want it to finish at a particular time. So in my case, it's going to finish, say, on the 31st of July 2020 at, I'm going to say 10 p.m. 10. Oh, for goodness sake, this is irritating me now. 10:00 p.m. Okay, so you save this thing. Yes, you've saved this. And then you go, the next bit is the rewards. And this is, the pledge levels, basically. So this is the original one. I have already 3 different pledge levels. And the pledge levels are quite simple. There's nothing too amazing about them. You can add your title, You can add how much people are going to have to pay to get their hands on this, and then the description. By the description, that's all there is. That's it. There is no formatting whatsoever. None at all. Which is a bit... okay, fine. Whatever. And then when you are meant to be delivering it, which in my case it should be September 2020, give or take. And then you can add an item to everything. Is there any kind of shipping for it? It's only, no shipping, only some countries or anywhere in the world. So if you select only in some countries, then you can decide how much is it going to be per country. You can add a list of countries where you want to ship things. So in the US, it's going to be so and so. For Canada, it's going to be so and so and so and so. For Europe, it's going to be whatever much. And if you want to send it to Venus, then it would be, never mind. How many of these rewards are there going to be available? And you can have unlimited, or you can limit how many there are. So if you want to have an early bird kind of pledge, or if you want to have a limited edition kind of pledge, then this is where you put the number. And whether you want this to be, for instance, there is a time limit, whether you want this to be something that will last for the first 24 hours of the project, then you have it here. Or whether you want it to be, if you back this project on Mondays, Wednesdays and Saturdays, you can get this pledge, but only on these days. Anything else you have to wait, which is a bit, okay, I just thought about it and it feels weird to me, but you could do it. Hey, you could do it. It's your project, you do whatever. So you save your reward and you can add as many as you wish. The next one is the history, the story of your project. And the only thing that you can do here is basically add some images and add some text. That's pretty much it. The formatting is extremely limited. There isn't really much that you can do here other than to add some bullet points. You can bold things up a little bit, make them italics, add a link, a hyperlink, add an image, insert a video or insert some audio. That's it. That's it. I find it incredibly frustrating and very limiting. Very limiting. Underneath, you get the risks and challenges, that you can tell people how, what could go wrong, what are the challenges of doing this, which is something I recommend everybody to pay a lot of attention to. And then if there is any kind of environmental commitments from the project. So is this going to be something that is going to use recycled materials or sustainable kind of resources? Is it going to use some ecological factories? Whatever it is that you want to tell about how environmentally friendly your project is. Once you've done this, and you should spend an awful lot of time working on this, you go to people, and then it's saying, who are you? Introduce yourself, say who you are, what kind of person, why are you doing this, what's your profile, what's your URL that you want this to be available through for your product, and then you can add collaborators, which sounds fantastic. I mean, collaborators, it just sounds so rebellious, so resistance. I absolutely love it. Then you can add your payment information, which is, your everything, who's going to get what, your identity, your account, which obviously I'm not going to show you for obvious reasons, how are people going to be able to pay, which obviously you have to complete everything else, which I haven't yet because, I want to show you this before. No. And lastly, promotion, and it's going to give you an URL for the project, so you can copy and paste it wherever you want. It's going to have a pre-launch page, so people can take a look at the project and give you some feedback. You can add your Google Analytics ID. So Google Analytics can be recording how many people are coming from where. So you can take a look throughout the whole project and decide what your marketing strategy is going to be. And that's it. That's it. So if we jump now to the Game On Tabletop, the first thing you're going to see is the project page. This is once you log in as a project manager. You have two different types of logins. You have a login as a user, and then you have a login as a project manager. The first thing you see as a project manager is the project editor. As you can tell just from the screen, this is miles ahead from that of Kickstarter. You can edit in HTML if you wish to do so. You can create a new page completely from scratch. You can preview it. You can even print it, so you can send it for whatever it is you want to send it for, or make anything out of it if you wish. There are some templates. Be careful, because I made a mistake, and I started doing this. Then I saw there were some templates. I thought, oh, I'm going to take a look at the templates, and it completely erased everything I've done. So be careful. Copy and paste icons. You can find things. You can replace text if you wish to do so. Selections, spell checker. It's not just bullet point lists. You can make numbered lists. You can control the tabulation. You can change and make block quotes. Create div containers. The whole thing is miles ahead from that of Kickstarter, which is absolutely brilliant, really brilliant. You can do a great deal more with this than you can with Kickstarter. In Kickstarter you can have images on top or below text. Here, no, sir. You can indeed have images surrounded by text, which is I just like it. I like it an awful lot. I haven't finished designing this, by the way, but as you can tell, you can do a great deal more things with it. Since project presentation is so crucial for the success of a campaign, having more options, yeah, I am going to go with it. By the way, everything here also is to the left, so everything is easier to reach, much easier to reach. You can create updates. And when you create a new update, this is new to me as well, so I haven't seen this before. You can decide when to publish this, which is brilliant because you can plan them in advance. I already have recorded 5 videos with some explanations as to what Campo the Mitos is going to be about. And I'm clarifying some questions that people have already asked me, some of my friends in Facebook, so on and so forth. So I can prepare this, and I know that these updates are going to go out as and when. I can choose to synchronize those with my Twitter campaign or my Facebook ads to make sure that they all come out at the same time. That is very good. I really like it. And the same level of customization we have here that we have in the project editor, which I like very much. And of course, we can notify all the backers via email, which is fantastico. So those are the updates. The backers, evidently I still don't have any backers because my project is not live, but there are going to be a whole comprehensive list of all the backers. I mean, come on. Complete orders, incomplete, things that have to be refunded, only retail if there's going to be a retail pledge. This is absolutely brilliant. Brilliant. And look, you can indeed show only backers that have been flagged as trolls. So if you are a company that's doing some sort of social justice project who is going to be attacked by trolls, hey, Game On Tabletop is thinking of you. Okay? That is brilliant. Come on. This is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. You can check all your comments as well. And look at that. You can also check with dislikes. You can check messages with warnings. Again, all of this has been designed for you to have control over the content that your project is going to be seeing. No longer you're going to have the issue of having a comment from a troll who's backed the project just to really mess you up, and having to be contacting the company, waiting until they reply, hoping that they decide that that comment and that contribution is problematic and get rid of it, and if not, you're stuck with it. This is way better, and you also have an awful lot of statistics that you can take a look at right away. Products. Loving this, especially for projects that have an awful lot of products within it. Say that you have a board game, and that board game is going to have, or a role-playing game, and it's going to have the core book, a limited edition book, dice that you want to also give away, t-shirts as add-ons or stretch goals, anything at all like that. You set them up as a product. Why? Well, let me show you. Because each product is going to have everything related to shipping and the cost of production and the print run. So you can have a perfect idea as to what the shipping costs of each product is going to be, as to how many of them you actually have to order. If you're going to print a book and you have a limited print run, say because you have a deluxe thing, then you can control your expenses a lot better. But also, if your project goes wildly successful, which would be wonderful, then you can adjust in here how many of those you have to print, because the more you print, hopefully the cheaper it's going to be. So to be able to itemize the bundles that you're going to send, yeah, I am up for that. I really like it. Your reward levels are just that, okay? Right now I have 3 here, Detective, Inspector, and Commissioner. And if we go into any of this, you have the information about this pledge level, which is, just the basics as to when it's going to be delivered, how many backups you want to have in it if you want to have a limit to them. Do you want to protect it via password? So and this would be a really cool idea. If people want to be able to pledge this, they have to find a clue that you bury in Twitter, for instance, and it's going to be a really juicy kind of pledge level, which is only going to be for the people who truly vote for you, or that you want to send just to a specific number of people, for instance, retailers. If they are not in your database of approved retailers, they cannot back it because they have, the password. So this is a very interesting one. In terms of image and text, you have a few less choices in terms of editing, but it's actually pretty decent, and you can do an awful lot of things with it. Here you link the products, which again is fantastic because you can be making the bundles. So if you have a board game with just the core game, you only link the board game, the core board game with it. But if you have a bundle with the board game plus the expansions plus the minis plus what have you, then you list all your products in here, which makes it easier for you to calculate costs of shipping, volume, how many of them you have to actually print and manufacture. Come on, how is this not useful? This is brilliant. And then you get your slot management. Add-ons, you can create your add-ons. Again, it's exactly the same thing as anything else. You can choose to display it, you can choose to add a name, your description, how much is this add-on going to be. So if you want to create something that is not necessary to play the game, but it's quite fancy, like dice, then you can add these things in here, and it's going to be separated from the pledge levels, which is very good for accounting processes, for shipping, because this add-on may be something that's going to be delivered later on, and you may need to charge for a different shipping cost. Yay! Level ups are stretch goals. And here, the other cool thing is that you can set them up, and decide how much money you need to get in order to achieve this, and it's going to be logged until the money is obtained, which is very good because you no longer have to be taking a look at exactly how much money you have when you can actually go to sleep, because as soon as you reach that stretch goal, that money, it's going to unlock itself. Whereas with a Kickstarter, you cannot sleep, because if that stretch goal is unlocked whilst you're sleeping, then backers are going to have to wait a number of hours before you can tell them that, hey, this has been unlocked, yay, let's all be happy about it. And then we get the product overview, and the product overview is, well, it's just that. It's exactly what the product is about. And yes, I'm still working on this. Okay, I'm not launched this yet, but you can take a look and see. You can add thumbnails. You can zoom the image. So if you have something physical, like say a mini, you can add the little thumbnail, and then you can add a larger image so people can take a look at all the nice little details that that beautiful miniature that you have created is going to do. In general, starting date, hashtags, you can define your Twitter hashtag in here, just like that. When is it going to end? Default language, who's the creator? Me. The currency, look, Australian friends, Australian dollars, euro, pound, and US dollar. I wish they had Canadian dollar as well. That would be very cool, because I know an awful lot of Canadian people who would love to do projects. So this is for the to-do list, I hope. What's the weight you need? It's going to be grams, it's going to be pounds. I don't know. Display is no, because the project is still inactive. The project is live. The project is testing, so only admins can do. Funding goal, I need to change this to 500 because I was going to do it for 1,000, but now I'm going to do for 500. I'll explain why in a video. Project caption, blah, blah, blah. Payment method, I'm not going to show you this because I have already input some sensitive information that for obvious reasons I don't want you to have, but you have two different types of payment methods. You can use Stripe, which is the company that is going to process your card payments, and you can use PayPal, which can be a good thing or can be a bad thing. It's a choice you have. Shipping, you want to do international shipping, you can select. This is so cool. So for instance, if you want to select America, everywhere in America, yeah or nay, so North America is going to be all of these places. In the US of A, are you going to ship everywhere? Because I just love it. I like having choices, and this is very, very good. And you have your shipping cost calculator depending on how many pounds you have, and how much does it cost to do. It's not 100% accurate, but it's a very, very, very good tool. In pictures, here's where you choose what pictures you have to have. Okay, and these are a little bit more reasonable. These are telling you, something like 300 kbits, third of a megabyte. Level up, again, social media image. The whole thing is a lot better. You can look at this. You can customize this with CSS. So if you are a web design wizard, you can customize your very own CSS, which is very good. And lastly, you get your project preview, which opens in a completely new window, so you can see exactly what it is like. Now, differences between Game on Tabletop and Kickstarter. Kickstarter by default will collect the funds at the very, very end of the project, which is why it cannot use PayPal, I don't think. Never mind. But Game on Tabletop, the default is to collect the funds right away, which means that you have to be very sure that your project is going to fund, and you have to transmit that safety to the user to make sure that the project is going to fund. You can change that. They can change that for you, and you can talk to the managers at Game on Tabletop. So they will amend that for you, but then you won't be able to use PayPal. And this is it. I think It is pretty obvious to me what the advantages of using Game On Tabletop are. I think they have some tools that have been very well designed and thought out for production, for gaming production. And I think the fact that it's been made by gamers and for gamers is an absolutely wonderful thing. So my advice would be, if you're thinking about a project, have both platforms. There is no reason why you cannot try the same thing in two platforms. See where you feel more comfortable and when you want to use something. And you may want to use both. There are some companies that are using Kickstarter for their main crowdfunding campaign, and then Game on Tabletop used for later pledges or for pre-orders or anything else like that. There's no reason why you cannot use both and take advantage of both, which would be brilliant. But please don't dismiss Game on Tabletop just because Kickstarter is better known. It has an awful lot of tools that can be very, very useful. And come on, there are some of us. They are us. Let's give them a hand. Log in, take a look, and just enjoy the platform. Okay, thank you very much indeed for watching. Let me know what you think about it, because I would love to hear your feedback as well. And, well, hopefully I will talk to you very, very soon. Take care.